Hey guys, it's Rachel from the House Hacking Mom channel, and today I just wanted to share with you some books that are very special to me and that I pull out every single Christmas. These are books that I have read religiously since I was a little girl, and books that my parents read to me, books that your children will treasure for years to come, your grandchildren will read. So these are high quality, beautifully illustrated books. They are not your cartoon, typical commercialized Christmas story books. This is high quality children's literature. So I really hope that you will pick maybe one or two books off of this list to gift to a child in your life. And before we get into the video, I want to remind you just to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, and let's jump right into the video. So this list is not in any particular order. The first on the list is the classic Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. And if you have seen the movie remake, this is a very famous Christmas story, but trust me, the movie is not nearly as good as the book, and I highly recommend. It is the story, of course, of a little boy who gets on the Polar Express train and travels to the North Pole. He meets Santa Claus and asks for a silver bell from the reindeer's harness, and that bell rings for him because he truly believes in the Christmas spirit and in Santa Claus. So it's a really sweet story, especially if your children do believe in Santa Claus. But I didn't grow up believing in Santa Claus, and it was still one of my favorite Christmas stories. It is so beautifully illustrated, and it really captures the enchantment and the joy of children around Christmas time. The second book on my list is called The Legend of the Candy Cane. I loved the way the book was illustrated. It's very bright. It's a very sweet story. Basically, a candy store comes to a small town, and it's set kind of back in the Victoria era, and a little girl comes to help the store owner, and she finds a candy cane which she's never seen before, and he tells her the story of the candy cane and how it relates to the Christmas story and Jesus. And it's just a really sweet story, and at the end they take candy canes and give them out to the people in the town. So it's a very sweet story, has a good moral to it, and it's just beautifully illustrated. I highly recommend that book. That is one of my personal favorites. The next book on my list is called Punchinello and the Most Wonderful Gift by Max Lucado. And this is actually part of a series, the Punchinello books. It's really cute. It's about a little town of wooden puppets, all made by the same wood carver, and they have different adventures in these stories. But the Christmas book, basically the little puppets kind of compete to make the most marvelous gift for the wood carver. And of course, in the end, they discover that the true meaning of Christmas is not about the best, the most popular, the most expensive gift. It's about spending time with your loved ones and showing compassion and love to others. And that's really what Christmas should be all about. Beautifully illustrated again. It has more of a rough sketch, bright colors type of illustration style, and it's just very, very beautiful. So the whole series is actually really cute. The next book on my list is, of course, the classic How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. I'm telling you, if you've never actually read the original Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, you are missing out. The movies do not compare. It's written so beautifully and simply. The prose are so fun to read. It has a rhythmic style to the text. You kind of get going with a rhythm when you read his books. And the illustrations are really fun. It's a contrast of black and pink and red. So it's a different style of illustration compared to his other Dr. Seuss books. Of course, it's the story of the Grinch who decides he does not like Christmas and that it's obnoxious, so he goes and tries to steal Christmas from the town of Whoville. And of course, he decides in the end that maybe Christmas after all isn't so bad. So I highly recommend How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And the next book on my list is a little bit different. It's sort of off the beaten path of Christmas stories. It's The Tale of the Three Trees by Angela Elwell. And it's a little bit different because it doesn't follow Santa Claus or Christmas trees and Christmas decorations, the things that we typically think of with Christmas time. It's set way back before all that, and there are 3 trees who have dreams of being made into different things. One has a dream of being made into a mighty ship, another one has a dream of being made into the throne of a king, and basically these 3 trees are eventually chopped down, and it's how their dreams are eventually fulfilled by being used in different parts of the original Christmas story. It's really interesting and different from most of the other Christmas books you're going to find out there, and again, it's beautifully illustrated. So, The Tale of the 3 Trees. The last book on my list is The Christmas Miracle of Jonathan Toomey by Susan Wojciechowski, and I may have butchered that last name. It's the tale of sort of the town grump who happens to be a wood carver, and a widow and her son ask him to carve the nativity scene. And through spending time with the widow and her young son who wants to watch him carve these figures, the character of Jonathan Toomey is softened, and he sort of opens up, and you discover that he actually has a lot of hurt surrounding Christmas time, and this sort of helps him to heal and move on from that hurt that he has had. So it introduces to children that not everybody has the perfect happy Christmas memories, and some people really actually have a lot of hurt around that time of year. It helps children just to learn to be compassionate and relatable, and maybe not every time someone is a little bit grumpy are they genuinely mean-spirited. Sometimes it's just because they have had some personal hurt in the past. So it's a really great book, beautifully illustrated. It's done in a very masculine sort of style, kind of following the tale of Jonathan Toomey being a grumpy old man. So it's beautiful, highly recommend it. All of these books can be started as young as, I would say, 3 or 4 and carried up to 9 and 10 years old. Perhaps a Dr. Seuss How the Grinch Stole Christmas is appropriate more from about 3 to 7. And remember, when you give a child a book, you're not only giving them the physical book, you are also gifting them your time, and that child knows that you're going to take them on your lap and read to them these wonderful stories. It encourages us to get off our phones, get away from the TV, and actually spend time face to face with our kids. I really highly recommend all of these books. They're all wonderful. And that is my list of Christmas books that your children will treasure for their whole life, as I still do. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I am the House Hacking Mom, and I like to make videos about frugal living, minimalist parenting, and healthy eating. Thank you for watching. Bye.